So the objective of the present module, it's a workshop on mains answer writing, wherein so how this session would happen. Today's session, first session as it is, we will try to focus on fundamentals of mains answer writing. And after today's session, it would be initially I thought it would be it should like a 3-hour session, but now that I'm thinking, why not we have it as an 1.5-hour sessions of 10 to 12, so that we can practice more number of questions and so that we can do it for more number of days, because here we are more interested in learning answer writing skills. So the more you get exposed to these terms or ideas related to answer writing skills, I think it would be more beneficial. So that's what I thought. Anyways, we will try to experiment this weekend. If you guys want, we will also do one 3-hour session. We'll try to see which is more productive. Accordingly, we can take a call, right? So on this note, let me tell you briefly the importance of mains answer writing, or how important or how significant it is. Like, I've made many videos on this, but still some of you must be new here. So I'll quickly do it in 3-4 minutes of thing, and not more than that. See, if there is anything that is very important for you to clear this exam, that is nothing but mains answer writing. Reason being, see, your prelims scores would help you to only, your prelims would help you only to write mains. Once you clear your prelims and you enter into stage of mains, see, unless you clear your mains with a margin of 70 to 100 marks, then say, let's imagine, even if something goes wrong in your interview, it will not be easy for us to get a good rank or something like a good service. So for that matter, the most important thing, or the most important skill which a student has to learn as part of his civil services preparation is mains answer writing. But this is the most neglected of all the things. Without exception, most of the students have a tendency to neglect this. Say beginners, they'll be in this mindset that I will start writing answers after I am done with all my classes, and let me clear prelims first, or let me learn how to clear prelims, then later I can think about writing mains, or mains practicing mains answers. This is the mindset of most of the beginners. And those who could not clear prelims, their mindset would be like, as I could not clear prelims this time, so let me start my prelims preparation as early as possible this time, so that next time I would clear prelims with big margin. When I clear my prelims, then I would think about mains answer writing. See, these kind of ideas should be immediately abandoned. See, take your mains answer writing very seriously, because in my view, the most important of all the aspects of among all the aspects of civil services preparation, it is nothing but mains answer writing skill. And mains answer writing skill would not come in a day or two. It comes only with extreme amounts of discipline, with lots of consistency. And this discipline and consistency, along with hard work, along with ability to observe good answers and adopt good ideas, or bring in good ideas into your answer, it will not happen. Say one simple thing: unless you actually put pen on the paper and write first 200 answers, believe me, your 201st answer is not going to be good. Unless you write this 200 answers, commit mistakes in this 200 answers, learn from the mistakes which you have made in the first 200 answers, that's how you improve your answer writing skill. Irrespective of how many workshops like this you attend, irrespective of how many toppers copies you see, or say toppers also tend to do different kind of orientation sessions, all these things, they'll not be of much help you unless you actually start writing answers. So what I suggest, make this a daily ritual. This should be a daily habit. Writing answers should not be the thing when you feel bored, or should not be your last concern. It's not about how much you read, it's about how good you are presenting an answer. When a random question is posed at you, just like how it happens in your UPSC mains examination, when a random question is posed at you, what matters is how you are able to organize your ideas in the most coherent and relevant manner, and you complete the question or you complete the answer for the question in that 14-15 minutes is the most important thing you have to learn. Otherwise, all your tall claims of I have read so many books, I have read from too many sources, I have tried to include quotes, all these things would not matter unless you learn to complete the answer in the most relevant and coherent way in a time bound manner. That's the only thing, and that's the most important thing which all of us must be aware. On this note, I because I do not generally won't waste my time on all these kind of things, because the motivation is something, it's very short lived. It's my belief that motivation is like, say, it's easy for me to tell all good things and inspire you, but this inspiration is like, by the end of the session that will be gone, maybe, or it, for some people it may last for 1 or 2 days. Nothing beats discipline. So for me, answer writing skill is not about motivating you or inspiring you to write answers. That will not work that way. It's about the discipline. It should be a daily ritual, it should be a daily habit. Unless you do this on a consistent basis, it's not that you're going to improve overnight. Okay, so on this note, so let me begin today's session. So today's session, as I've already told, that we will try to discuss some of the fundamentals of mains answer writing. Fundamentals, I mean, see, some of you who have already seen my approaches which I'm being posting in the Telegram channel, like how to introduce, how to identify dimensions, how to structure your answer, how to bring in innovations. These are the things which we'll try to discuss in today's session. Some of you might feel it repetitive, still make it a point. It might seem repetitive, but still it's nothing but reinforcing the ideas which you already have. See, most of you already must be aware that we have to write introduction, we have to write a good conclusion, we have to bring in ray diagram wherever it is necessary, we have to bring in dimensions. But let me reinforce those ideas today, and I'll also try to show some good examples of the copies which have actually made this happen in their answers. So that is how, or that is what the mandate of today's session will be. Don't consider it as boring. From tomorrow's session, it will be more like a proper workshop wherein I'll be giving questions to you, and I'll expect you to spontaneously and promptly try to answer those according to the fundamentals which I have learned today. In today's session also, we will try to practice few dimensions. We will try to practice, if time permits, some structures. We'll also try to practice some introductions. Okay. And on this note, now I am sharing the screen with you. Now, please note. Yeah. Somebody said it's not audible. Hope my audio is clear. Do confirm. Everybody, it's fine, right? Yeah. So now I'm sharing the screen. Please note, my video will not be seen now. You will be only seeing the screen hereafter. Okay. Yeah. Some of you, I think, must have seen this PDF, which is already posted in the group. So, yeah. So first things first, and a most common mistake committed by majority of the aspirants is that, yeah, always read the question 5 times. Yes, always read the question 5 times. That may be a 10 marker or that may be a 15 marker, whatever it is. Reading the question 5 times is the most important thing which we have to adopt. One biggest mistake committed by most of the aspirants is they just go through question quickly and randomly. They do not apply their mind into reading the question, or they don't take the question seriously, and they jump their guns to start writing answer immediately. Never ever do this. Sometimes there is a possibility that you might have understood the question in the very first reading. Still, do not take a chance. Go for second, third, fourth, and fifth reading. Believe me, with every single reading of the question, something new would automatically come to your mind, It will give a great sense of direction and it will give a purpose to your answer. That's the most important thing. Some of you must be thinking we have reasonably good answer writing skills, means we know how to write an answer. But often when we submit our copy for evaluation, we end up writing something else which is not in the demand of the question. You know, what's the important source or what's the important reason for these kind of mistakes? Important reason for this kind of mistake is that we don't read the question properly. Read question 5 times properly. Identify the important theme of the question. If possible, underline the important keywords or the suggestives of the question. Automatically, that will take you to the right direction. Believe me, once you have this clarity of thought in your mind that this is going to be the demand of the question, this is the core relevance of the question, your answer will be like, because you will be left with around 13 to 14 minutes to write an answer. See, with decent answer writing speed, 13 to 14 minutes is more than sufficient for you to write an answer, provided you know what to write. You know what to write in the sense, you know what are the relevant ideas to be included. Otherwise, you will be beating around the bush. You will be writing some random content which is nowhere related to demand of the question, and we end up confusing ourselves and we end up confusing the examiner in this process. We must be by the time you move through half part of the question, you would have realized that you are deviating from the demand of the question. This will unnecessarily create, anxiety in you, and in this process you may forget underlining important ideas, you may forget writing a good conclusion, you may forget structuring the answer, everything will go on. So that's the importance today in the whole session. Even if you forget everything else I discussed with you, if you just remember this one single point, that you have to read the question 5 times before writing your answer, that would be the most important lesson. Because the rest of the ideas anyways, in each of the session I'll be constantly poking you, I'll be introducing you to that again and again and talking and mentioning about it again and again. But this is one most important lesson for today, that is always read question 5 times. Now let me see, this is the question before you. Now read the question 5 times, read the question 5 times and tell me what headings would you keep for this question. What are the important subheadings and headings? Or in other words, it's also called as dimensions, as I have not still introduced this term dimensions for some of the people who are new to this channel. Just read this question 5 times and let me know what are the most important side headings or headings would you include. I'll give 1 minute time, please. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah. Writing about the consequences briefly, factors facilitating. Okay. Good. That's what. So hope that question is clear. Yeah, some of you also wanted to write way forward art measures. Okay, agree with you. Introduction on fake news, consequences, factors, measures. Good. Okay, fine. Measures to curb. Namrata, post-truth is just one idea, Nama. Like I wanted you to write the entire dimensions of the topic. Okay. Recent examples during demonetization, COVID pandemic. Yeah, Siddharth, I agree with you. Something like that in the introduction might go well. Fake news, consequences, factors, measures. I think most of you have got it right. Yeah, most of you have got it right. Sources of fake news. Do you think, Kaveri, does that have that stature of going as a separate heading or a separate dimension? Think again carefully, ma. How to counter fake news? It's nothing but the measures, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Good enough. I think you guys who have understood the question. So fake news on social media, if unrestrained, has potentially devastating consequences on the nation. So what are the factors that facilitate this phenomenon? Suggest some measures to effectively counter fake news. As simple as that. Question is not that difficult. Also, say as you have told, write with a good introduction on some recent aspects, or if you want to define what a fake news is, or what's a doctored content, or what's an engineered content, what's a manufactured content, something like that with examples. Also one way of introducing, but not as good as the one with starting with examples. Then of course you can talk about the some consequences. Devastating, as the term itself is, as the statement itself is leading, it is asking to write devastating consequences. You need not focus on positive consequences, you have to focus on the negative consequences alone. Then factors facilitating this phenomenon, you can write in 4-5 lines. Then suggestive measures, you can write in 4-5 lines, isn't it? So yes, though it's not that tough question. Now I want you to read one more question, okay, that I'll show in the later part of the session. So yeah, let me move to next part, that is writing a good introduction. So yes, this is one area where most of the students struggle. Most of the students struggle in writing good introductions. I don't know the reason why. See, you end up writing cliched introductions. Sometimes we end up writing an introduction which is not in demand of the question. Sometimes we write an introduction uh, which is too generic and which is not at all in any way connected to the demand of the question. All these are very common mistakes done by students. Now it's easy for me to tell you that you have to write an introduction which should be simple, easy to understand, which should be concise, which should be clear, which should be relevant to the demand of the question, which should flow from the demand of the question as far as possible. All these things are easy to say and also easy for you to listen. But the real challenge is when a question is posed at you, how in the given time you come up with a good introduction is what matters. Actually, introduction is very, very important. Reason being, most of the times examiners may not have time or may not have the interest to read your whole script with the same levels of concentration. Say, let's imagine he's evaluating your 18th answer or 19th answer. By that time, he would have already evaluated 17 answers of yours, and you end up writing one full page introduction that is a lot of beating around the bush, that is not at all linked to the demand of the question. The examiner will definitely penalize us now. Always practice writing relevant introduction, small, crisp, and to the extent possible, do not exceed more than 3/4 of the page. I'll repeat this again. Do not exceed an introduction for more than 3/4 of the page. Yes, there are certain introductions which might require continuation up to 1 page or 1/4 page. I'll also show those examples for you now. But majority of the introduction, they need not or they do not require overemphasis for more than 3/4 page. So confine it, that is the maximum permissible limit. Confine intro to just 3/4 page. And yeah, so let's see it. Now you guys will write an introduction for me and tell me. So write introduction for this idea. Take 2 minutes time. Do not be in a hurry. 2 minutes time to think and 1 minute to post. Your 2 minutes will start now. Please do not be in a hurry. I want all of you to write the most relevant introduction. I'll give 2 minutes of time. 2 minutes is like In exam also, you will have 2 minutes time. Yes, please. Now try to post your content. Sai, it's good. Why don't you think about something better? It's good, but it can be a little more, directly suited to the demand. Yeah, introduction on rural economy. Be more specific. Like, yeah. Okay, Vishnu, that can be one. Definition of sustainable rural economic factors. No, Angel. Like, it's not related, Nama. Directly related. So, pandemic induced urban to pandemic is only one aspect of rural economic transformation, right? Sai, it's good, but try to think little more out of box, little more interesting. Manju, it's good. Yours is good. Any other suggestions from anyone? No, rural economic. There is nothing like rural economic. That is different schema. Deen Dayal Upadhyay. What is that? Urban mission. Shyam Prasad Mukherjee urban mission. It's a different thing. Rural economic transformation. It's not about that any scheme which you guys are thinking. Come on. Try to practice. I know it's difficult. Yeah. Namrata says India lives in villages. New India needs to awaken the spirit. New India rural entrepreneurs should take the spirit of vocal for local. No, Namrata, does not seem directly relevant to the demand. Think again, read it again. India lives in villages, that's fine. New India needs to awaken the spirit, that's fine. But why suddenly rural entrepreneurs has come into picture? G1, this is reasonably good. Need for art to transform. Okay. Fine. Like, you have contributed well, but I believe there is scope for better content from you. See, a rapid, sustainable, and durable rural economic transformation is the need of the hour. So it's easy to say that the question is something which is focusing more on rural economic transformation. As some of you guys have rightly identified, say you can talk about economic indicators, good economic statistics of the rural areas. Say, for instance, As some of you have already mentioned, unemployment rate in the rural areas, income inequalities in the rural areas, and like presence of extent of small and marginal farmers in the rural areas, human development indicators of the rural areas, or the rural urban differentials when it comes to human development indicators, like and that's how you can talk about more and more of economic indicators, different economic in purchasing power parity in the rural areas. If it's easy for you to appreciate that it's a question related to economy, so why don't you bring more and more economic terms in the beginning of the into the introduction of your answer? Says I agree with you, you have mentioned something related to say from ancient age or something that seems to be good only, but that kind of luxury you don't have, especially when it comes to say imagine it's a general studies 3 question in gs3 as it's economy. So examiner expect you, because it's an economy related examiner who will be evaluating your copy, he would love to see, say for instance, okay, he has captured very well all the statistics related to rural economy in the very first 4 or 5 lines of the question. So that will give, or that may give us an extra edge. So I would like to introduce it that way. Of course, as someone said, you can also quickly explain what a rapid economic transformation can be, or what can be a sustainable economic transformation, or what can be a durable economic transformation after writing this beginning introduction on rural economic statistics, rural economic indicators. Then in the next part, small subpart in 3 or 4 lines, quickly you can capture what can be a rapid rural economic transformation, what can be a sustainable rural economic transformation, what can be a durable rural economic transformation. That will add depth to your answer, isn't it? So that's what I am trying to impress upon. Yeah. Yeah, Saideep, that's what we are talking, right? Its contribution to wealth generation, or low per capita income among its people. Okay, yeah. Radhika, like urban economy, like now we are directly talking about rural economy, right? Cannot just say that urban economy dependent on rural areas for food security. That is correct. The idea you are telling is very correct. No denying that. But the question is directly about rural economic transformation. So examiner would love to see more ideas on rural economy related statistics in the introduction. Okay. So why don't you practice one more thing? Try to practice this question. What do you understand by the term inclusive innovation? What are the challenges in establishing a robust innovation ecosystem in the country? Add a note on measures taken by Government of India in the recent times to nurture innovation. I'll give you 2 minutes time totally. Please come up with a good introduction. Imagine you have 3/4 page space to write an introduction. Do not be in a hurry. Think with calm and composed mind and come up with a good introduction. Yes, please. Shovan, you want to write all those things in the introduction itself? Global Innovation Index ranking, Inclusive Innovation Index, Atal Innovation Mission, NEP 2020, everything in the introduction. Okay, Vatsav, agree with you. Introduction will be definition of inclusive innovation. Okay, think a little bit more. Okay, Baksh, agree with you. Think about better way. Yeah, you guys need not write whole introduction. I'm just asking you the ideas for introduction. Okay. Different programs taken by World Bank, etc. organizations. Why Tejashwini? Why do you want to write programs, ma, by World Bank? Okay, okay. So Sai, you want to link it to 21st century demographic dividend. Okay, fine. Target of innovation. Conducive way if the innovation is. I think Manju should be a little more clear about the definition of inclusive innovation. I think you are thinking that inclusive innovation means innovation which is coming from the grassroots. That's not the complete idea. Very good. See, like how Srividya is suggesting, you just define inclusive innovation and give a good example. As simple as it, ma. Say writing innovation, inclusive innovation definition itself will take you 3-4 lines. Inclusive innovations are those innovations which are low cost, affordable, which are low cost, affordable, which have wider outreach and available to more number of people on a long-term sustainable basis, and can generate employment to the people who are in the bottom 1/3 of the economic pyramid. Is something you will define inclusive innovation, because the question itself is asking you, what do you understand by the term inclusive innovation? Then how can we ignore that? So one simple way, yes, you first define. Question is asking you, please define inclusive innovation. You define it. You give a good example of inclusive innovation. Okay, Swasthya Health Plate is a good example, or Soham neonatal ear screening device is a good example of inclusive innovation. Or say, you can say, what is that? Some, these days, this digital financial transaction platforms have come at low cost. So it's a good example of an inclusive innovation. So one or two good examples, then you can talk about inclusive innovations or the need of the hour, or necessity for inclusive innovation is a big idea, man. Necessity for inclusive innovation, if you really want to write it, make a ray diagram and explain the necessity for inclusive innovation separately. So in my view, I think as the question is very straightforward. It is asking you, what do you understand by the term inclusive innovation? Define inclusive innovation. Write an example of inclusive innovation. That would take care of at least half page to 3-4 page. And I think the demand of introduction for this particular question is solved. As simple as that, isn't it? Yeah, all these ideas you guys are saying are very good. I don't deny that they are less important or not, but let's straight away address the core demand of the question. Of course, low cost strength of Abdul Kalam. Yeah, Lekha, agree with you, ma. A biogas based milk cooling unit for smallholder dairy farmer. It's a product based innovation. Yes, somehow something like that. It will be nice. Okay. Namrata, just read this one. Labor force participation rate of women. So these are the kind of mistakes we should never commit. See, think very carefully and tell me how gender parity and labor force participation rate. See, this is all the beginners we have to try to understand now. Can I establish direct linkage to this question? What do you understand by the term inclusive innovation? Does it have direct relevance? Idea like labor force participation rate or gender parity. It's like we trying to bring relevance or we trying to make it relevant, isn't it? So that's what. See, it's answer writing. Mains answer writing is also about controlling your ideas, ma. Your ideas should go in a relevant, controlled manner. It's not about. See, this is particularly true in case of most of the beginners or young aspirants, because they'll be in that enthusiasm or excitement to read more, and they would also have read more, and they would have a lot of content and information in their mind. The moment they see the question, they'll try to, or they'll make it a point to dump or include lot of content without understanding the core demand of the question. Never ever commit this mistake. Always, as long as you're writing the answer, question should be constantly going in your mind, and write the most relevant ideas in the simple, easy to understand and concise manner. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good examples you guys are giving. I agree with you. Yeah, like electrified handloom, all these are good examples, but my question particularly in this context is very simple. What could be a good introduction to this question? Okay, so yes, see, look at this introduction written by one of the aspirants. Look at the question. What do you understand by the concept of political economy? Do you agree with the view that in India, evidence-based policy making takes a backseat whenever political economy asserts its role? Discuss. Look how crisp and relevant she has written introduction. It's just half page she has written. Take 2 minutes, full 2 minutes of your time, and try to appreciate how good the introduction is. Isn't it? Now, look at other good introduction. Look at the way the diagram has been included. Such a nice illustration. Examiners would be more than happy whenever they see this kind of simple, directly relevant, to the point introductions. Yeah, look at this. I think today only I have posted this copy. So the rest of the answer is not good, but introduction was very relevant to the demand of the question. Look at it. Read the question carefully. It's a slightly a tough question, but still. Did you understand how relevant and directly related to the core demand of the question this introduction is? See, she has understood very well that, okay, this is some question related to, say, negative impacts of neoliberal policies. And she also has rightly included what are the negative consequences of the neoliberal policies. And of course, what should be done to undo or to address the problems that have sprung out of neoliberal policies was the gist of our introduction. Was the gist of our introduction? Of course, rest of the answer, she could not properly address the demand of the question. But yes, negative marks are okay. We'll focus on it. It's not that important, but still we'll try to mention about it. Anyways, so this is how, or this is the way we try to make the most relevant introductions. This is something very important, and of course we'll practice more and more of them by the end of the session. Then after talking about asking you guys to read question for 5 times and asking you guys to write good introduction and showing you some good introductions, now I want you to introduce you to another most important aspect of the mains answer writing, that is identifying all the relevant dimensions in the question. It is very, very important, and as I've mentioned here, it's very fundamental to get good scores. The moment you complete reading the question, first thing that should come in your mind is thinking about all possible major dimensions of the topic. All possible major dimensions of the topic. Now, so what are the dimensions? So what is this idea of dimensions? Say, read this question carefully. Take 1 minute time and read this question 5 times. Please count as you are reading. Yeah. So I believe you have read the question. Now, see, I have given some dimension there. Forget about the dimensions which I have given. You try to take some time and identify all the relevant dimensions here. Yeah, I'll give you 15 seconds time to think because you have already read the question. Try to write the most important dimensions which you would include. Dimensions means important headings which you would keep. Yes, please. Yes, please. You want me to show the question again? Yeah, sure. Yes, please. Okay, implications. Rohit, be more clear. Citing examples means you want to start with an example? Okay. Tell me all the dimensions. Okay. Sahil says introduction, factors responsible, social, economic, political, religious. What factors responsible, Sahil? Be very clear. Headings have to be very clear. Identifying dimensions means writing a good heading. Writing a good heading is something very, very important. It should be crystal clear. Examiner, the moment examiner read your heading, he should have good clarity that, okay, this is what this has been discussed below this heading. Okay. Charan, no. What is that? Social, economical, political, ethical? No, that's not how it's supposed to be. Sai, your idea is correct, but can you be a little more clear? You want to say mob lynching and social unrest. You want to keep that as one dimension, increased polarization. Try to identify properly all the dimensions, all the headings. Okay, Ramya says definition of mob lynching with example, how it erupts on its consequences and measures to be taken. Okay, introduction of mob lynching, good. Recent instance. You can also quickly talk about vigilante violence also, Srividya. Recent instance and its effects on social fabric. Okay, factors causing or factors responsible for mob lynching and vigilante violence can be one idea. And what measures should be taken? Okay, good. Okay, are causing disruption to social orders, measures to reduce the same. Yes, Manju, but there is a scope exists for more ideas, right? Yeah. Figure, what figure you can write, Ma? Shiva, think again. Reasons, impact, measures, conclude. Okay, be a little more clear. Lawlessness in society, socio-economic, low status. Okay, these are few ideas, right, Shobhan? Like now we are talking about dimensions. Introduction about mobility, reasons for rising intolerance. Okay, measures to curb. Okay, what's up? Good. Okay. Okay, like yeah. Causes includes disrespect. Okay, including polarization consequences. So you want to split it that way, Pankaj? Okay. 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 Fine. Good, ma. Lekha. Yeah. So I believe Kaveri factors responsible. Okay, social, economic, political, religious. Okay, consequences and measures to reduce. Good. Fine. Yeah. Now, if you guys think, okay, all of us are following the same format, or he's trying to teach us that you have to write it this way. If anybody want to suggest any out of the box way of identifying most relevant dimensions here, of course, as you guys, most of you guys have identified, introducing with relevant case studies, explaining concept of mob lynching and vigilante violence, and factors responsible for the growth of mob lynching and impacts of growth in mob lynching and vigilante violence, and measures to control incidents or way forward. Very brief conclusion. So A, B, C, D, E are called dimensions. Now, okay, this is safe for, this is very safe. If you can write this, at least you will get half mark, or if examiner is good, he may even give you more than half. Does anybody want to think slightly out of the box and try to structure the answer little more diligently and little more impressive manner rather than sticking to standard format? See the question again and think for 30 seconds more. Yes, please. Any other alternative ideas? Okay. Locally, nation-wise, what aspects of society do they impact? Okay, Manju. Factors responsible. Okay, government access, speech, social oppression, governance. Instance in the country. Yeah, introduction is done, Sahil. Now we are talking about dimensions. Dimension. How is linked to other? Tejashwin, be a little more clear, ma. See, one thing, what I am expecting from you, of course, none of you have mentioned. Of course, it's not that simple. Somehow, you can also address this aspect, right? Say, mob lynching, vigilante violence, how are interlinkages to the idea of inclusive social order, means how an excluding social order can contribute to mob lynching, vigilante violence, or how rising intolerance can contribute to mob lynching and vigilante violence, or how growing polarization can contribute to mob lynching and vigilante violence. You can keep subtle headings. Introduction can be the same introduction you can think about. So factors responsible for the growth of mob lynching. Here, instead of writing factors responsible for the growth of mob lynching, you can keep three small subheadings. Say mob lynching and vigilante violence, interlinkages to inclusive social order, or how an exclusive social order would contribute to mob lynching, vigilante violence, or rising intolerance, interlinkages to mob lynching, vigilante violence, or growing polarization, mob lynching conundrum. Something like that, a small innovative heading and 2-3 lines under it can add more depth to this factors responsible for the growth of mob lynching. Say, for instance, if you think after doing this much of discussion, if you think there might be less time available for you, this you can relegate only to 2 to 3 points. And of course, this point has to be done with little more depth. So this you can write in 4-5 points. That is how in the limited time you can write most relevant answers. If you see some of the members in our group, they are writing such a good answer, 3 full page answers, that too around 250 words, they are completing in 13 minutes, 14 minutes. So do not think that would it be possible for us to complete the entire answer in the stipulated 15 minutes time. It's very much possible, provided we have that clarity in our mind, what are the most important dimensions which are going to include in our answer. And of course, the moment you have this clarity in your mind, then rest of the answer is about filling the points under each dimension, isn't it? So I think by this time, you guys should have been clear about what dimensions are. So now I'll demonstrate with an example what dimensions are. See, just now you have seen this question, right? Yeah. Yeah, good. Cartoon figure you cannot draw in the exam, right? Rohit? International involvement, dimension, definitely. Like 1 point you can, factors responsible, definitely you can write one idea on international, and definitely, why not? Yeah. So quickly see this dimension, especially beginners, you guys have to see. Senior aspirants already know by this time what dimensions are. So quickly see what dimension are for this question. A rapid, sustainable, and durable rural economic transformation is the need of the hour. In this context, identify various challenges in realization of this vision, suggest some innovative solutions to accomplish intended objectives. Look at this introduction quickly. Okay, that is one dimension, introduction. Look at dimension 2. He has quickly identified components of rural economy. Different components of rural economy he identified, and he called it as dimension 2. Dimension 3, challenges to our economic transformation vision. Look how quickly he has explained different challenges under each heading which he has already identified under components of rural economy. And one more dimension, he also has come up with solution. So I think by this time you are clear what dimensions are. Dimensions are, these are the dimensions. Introduction, identifying a components of a rural economy, challenges to our economic transformation vision, and writing solutions. These are the dimensions. These are the dimensions in a question, as simple as that. So I know some of you might not be liking the dimensions which the person has written here. You must be having different dimensions in your mind. That does not in any way, like, your idea must be correct, but my only intent behind showing these two slides is I want you to impress upon, I want you to understand this is how dimensions have to be identified, and this is how dimensions have to be clearly shown as headings. Look how he boxed each of the dimension components, challenges, solutions. So it will become easy for examiner to identify that, okay, he has mentioned these 4 relevant dimensions. So it's easy for me to award marks. Okay. Now I have one question for you. This is the practice dimensions here. Do not be in a hurry to answer. I'll give you whole 2 minutes. Today is the only session we will talk about, maybe tomorrow to some extent also, dimension. From tomorrow, like we will directly go to the subject specific, topic specific. We will talk about subject. Okay. Yes, sure. Preferably, it's good to write side headings now. They'll enhance the visibility or presentation skills of your answers. Okay. Yeah. 2 minutes from now. Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, please do not post any irrelevant content. Just tell me what are the important headings, or if you think something specific you want to write in introduction, that also you can tell. So just tell me what all the important dimensions you will include. Okay. So Vaishali says criticality of the primary healthcare, issues with primary healthcare, how modern lives have different health challenges. Very good. How can it be overhauled to address these emerging challenges? Very good, Vaishali. To the point. So you are saying criticality, or what's the importance of the primary healthcare, and you want to talk about issues with primary healthcare. Then you want to talk about how modern lives have different health challenges, which means you want to analyze the changing health trends. Good. Then you want to go with how we can overall, or how we can reform healthcare to address these emerging challenges. Okay. So Kaveri, you want to start with definition. Okay, ma. Importance also. Okay, good. Current status of primary healthcare India, reforms to be. Kaveri, you missed the most important part of the question, ma. Read the question carefully. Question is asking you changing trends in health profile. Don't you think you have to specifically reflect that idea of changing trends in health profile in your answer, isn't it? Think again carefully. Yeah, Ramakota Reddy, you have done the same mistake. That's the most important part of the question. Sahil, see, role of private players on the rise of non-coming reduce out of. Sahil, you still did not understand the demand, ma. See, what I'm asking you to identify what are the headings you will place in this question if you want to attempt this question. Tell me, how can you write role of private players as a heading, or rise of non? These are just points, right? Now I am more interested in making you or learn or teaching you how to write a good heading or how to identify most relevant dimension. Try to understand my point, please, everyone. Okay, do not write random ideas, ma. I am more interested in learning how do you properly identify dimension your answer. Okay, Tejashwini, reduction, changing trends in health profile, good. Why it needs an overall, how it can be done, very good. This is how, as simple as that. Primary healthcare definition with some facts. Good, Jeevan. Advantages of primary healthcare. Damages through healthcare. What is the damages through healthcare? It's not clear. Jeevan, you also do not include analysis of changing trends in healthcare, ma. Okay, Sai, situation. Sai, you also miss that. How can you miss that? It's very important, right? It's asking you changing trends in the health profile, ma. Say how to accommodate our primary healthcare system. See, changing health trends means what? Say we are witnessing an epidemiological transition in which we are moving increasingly from communicable to non-communicable diseases, isn't it? In rural areas also, we are witnessing epidemiological transition. Mental health illnesses are growing in the rural areas, and even in rural areas, suicides and of course road accident deaths are growing in the rural areas. So whether the primary healthcare system and also the demand for palliative care, the demand for rehabilitative care, all this is growing even in the rural areas, but the present primary healthcare system does not cater to these requirements. So idea is that these are the changing health trends. What are the changing health trends? Epidemiological transition, growing demand for rehabilitative health care, growing demand for mental health care. All these are the changing health trends. So whether the primary healthcare system, the existing primary healthcare system is suited to this so-called requirements or not, analyzing it is the demand of the question. Okay. Hope it's clear, Sai. Case study you want to write, Ramya. Okay. Changing with health and good issues in primary health care. Okay. Measures. Nice. Primary health care and its importance, need for overall. Okay. Okay. Along with, you also have to analyze the changing health trend, Baksh. Okay. Okay. See, doctor to patient ratio of WHO is just one simple idea, right, Rohit? How can you make it as a part of heading? Huh? Why primary healthcare needs, what needs overhaul, infra, human resources. Manju, you also missed that important aspect, changing trends in health profile in the rural areas. Okay, yeah. Sindhu says introduction about PSC. Okay, ma. Okay, Pallavi, good. Communication to non-communicable. Okay, importance of present situation, government initiatives, drawbacks and challenges. Why the health profile of individuals changing? You need not, ma, Charan. That's not the demand of the question. Okay, yeah. Shoban, you write very good answers, but here I don't know why identifying dimensions part you are not doing. Well, see, identifying dimensions means what you will keep as heading, right? Isn't it? Like the ideas which you have mentioned, like they are not headings, right? Anyways, you already are writing very good answers, but somehow here I don't think you are identifying relevant ideas. Rural urban needs difference. Okay, Siddharth, I agree with you. Okay. Lekha, look at your point number 3. Point number 3. Better heading is analysis of the changing health trends, right? Okay. SPV. Yeah. Fine. Very good, Siddharth. Yeah. You want to put it under PHCs to wellness center. No, let that be clearly seen, Sai. Okay. Yeah. Fine. As simple as that. So for the sake of beginners, I'll quickly write down. So an intro. So introduction can be on, say, a good recent rural health indicators and their abysmal performance, something of that sort. Or you can also include a case study. Then it can be, dimension B can be changing health trends, analyzing changing health trends. Then issues in existing primary healthcare setup, So because of these issues, we are already recording poor health indicators, and because of these issues, we are also ill-equipped. We are ill-equipped in meeting demands of changing health trends, isn't it? So you can simply keep a heading as issues in existing primary healthcare system, and you can write 1 or 2 lines, say that because of these issues, and then you can write issues as A, B, C, D issues you can write. But just clearly reflect in the beginning itself, because of these existing issues, the present status of health system itself also is shabby, and this existing issues would also complicate the situation further and make us handicapped to address emerging challenges. That's how you can make it more clear. Then if you have some time left, you can also write about consequences or something like that. Otherwise, you can directly go to measures to be taken or what to be done. Measures to be taken or what to be done. Measures to be taken or what to be done. That's it. If these dimensions are included, definitely say it will easily finish. It will take 3 pages, and it will ensure that you cover all the important ideas. Here, of course, if you can bring some good statistics, it will help you score better. In this context, I also want you to mention other important thing. See, most of the students, whenever just before 5 minutes when I have discussed this idea, I have used several terms, say terms like rehabilitative care, palliative care, mental health care, then I also used terms like, say, epidemiological transition, then certain terms like preventive, promotive, health care, health management committees. I know I'm randomly writing these ideas. The reason why I'm randomly writing these ideas, whenever, it's not that you guys are unfamiliar with terms like this. That's what now, when you are preparing for your prelims, you kind of come across all these kind of terms, but at that point of time, you do not have think that, okay, I can use these terms in my answers. Any examiner who is evaluating your copy on, say, general studies to health related topic, if he sees these ideas like, okay, rehabilitative care, palliative care, mental health burden, epidemiological transition or shifting of the pattern of the disease burden, preventive health care, promotive health care, health management committees, or village and nutrition sanitation committees. It's like whenever these kind of topic specific jargon, what do we call them? Topic specific jargon. Most of the students do commit this mistake wherein they don't try to include topic specific jargon, and they end up writing it as a very generic non-specific question and end up scoring less. So please do not commit this mistake. You must be thinking, where should I get this topic specific jargon from? Nowhere. The topic which you are reading, whatever topic, wherever the source you are reading, write on the same page, where you do not maintain a separate book or anything like that. Write down separately all the keywords just in the margin or in the side, and you have to repeat or you have to revise these keywords again and again. So let's imagine you are reading Vision IAS Main 365, or you are reading Vision IAS Monthly Current Affairs Mental whatever it is. For every topic, if you carefully observe, there will be some at least 6 to 7 keywords. You know, this 6 to 7 keywords now examiner would love to see in your answers, and they won't come to you spontaneously unless you practice them. See, only if you practice them, na, this keywords would come to you. If you don't practice them properly, na, keywords will be there. You must be knowing the meaning of each of the word which have written this. But you may write an answer like a layman answer, and which does not have this kind of usage of topic specific jargon. These are not medical terms I am using, and these are not, you know, any subject specialist terms. These are all, if you read Hindu paper properly, all these terms you can see, isn't it? And it's not that you guys are unaware or unfamiliar about these ideas. You are familiar about these ideas. Only thing is that you have not taken that initiative to make note or highlight these keywords and ensure and or think dynamically that, okay, if a question on health is asked, if a question on education is asked, if a question on innovation is asked, or if a question on international relation is asked, or if a question on governance is asked, then I will include these specific ideas in my answer. If you don't think this way, definitely that will not come automatically. And another important aspect of answer writing is, see, while you are writing answers, you should try to bring in these ideas and you should learn to quickly incorporate them in your answers. So other essential skill related to answer writing is introduction of topic specific jargon or subject specific jargon. See, just like in the case of rural economic transformation reduction, when I discussed, I told that why not you bring out, why not you introduce with some good economic related terms, isn't it? Are you not aware of those ideas? All of you are aware of those ideas. Only thing is that it did not click to your mind that why not I introduce that question with something related to economy related concepts. That's what you are supposed to practice when it comes to answer writing. Okay, now another question. This is GS4 ethics. I'll give you more time for identifying dimensions. Let me give you 3 minutes, full 3 minutes I'll give. So I won't expect and also don't accept any kind of mistakes in this. Think carefully and try to come up with your dimensions. This is okay. Let me make life even easy for you. It's just a 10 marker. And I am expecting from you not ideas, only dimensions, only headings, nothing else. Yes, please. Yeah, try to. Okay. Okay, Vaishal. Example. Sai, why you want to make this? Courage. Fear. Why you want to talk about fear, Sai? Judgment also is not necessary here, right? Think again. See the question again, Sai. What's the theme of the question? It's right. It's about courage, right? It's just about the idea of courage, as simple as it. It's about the importance of this trait called as courage to civil service. As simple as it. Yeah, examples of Vaishali. Straight away, you want to begin with examples of courage, is not? Why not you begin with some good quote on courage or explain what's the difference between courage and like being brute in brave in a brute manner, something of that sort, role of attribute of courage. Okay, placing responsibility beyond the concept of fear, stubborn in action, all these are points, right, Rohit? I just asked you the side headings or headings. Fear definition did not write, madam. Okay, yeah. Introduction. Okay, relevance of courage to civil servants, good in the professional sphere, in the personal sphere. Yeah, good, Manju. Yeah. Introduction, an example of being courage. Okay. Challenges civil servants face while making judgments. No, Sahib, that's not the demand. Read the question carefully again. Simple story about courage in 5-6 lines. Then what else? Followed by definition. Mhm. Courage definition, some examples of a role of civil servant implementing courage. Courage definition and some example of okay, IAS officer. Role of civil servant in implementing courage. No, courage can't be implemented, na Jeevan. Balancing courage. Yes, some illustration of courage. I mean, okay. Yeah, quote is already in the question. Why not you start with other quote, Vaishali? You can also start with other quote. It's not that nobody will stop you, right? So introduction of courage, relevance in civil service, decision making, okay, policy making, implementation. Good, Radhika. Okay. Yeah, you mean to differentiate between cowardice, recklessness, and courage. Good. Mm, okay. Fine. Okay, so I'll just quickly mention my idea and I'll give one more question for you to practice. One moment. Just pose that question for you. Okay. Yeah, so I'll do it later. After the end of the class, I'll post it for you. So yes, it's a simple question only, easy to understand. The core theme you would have already appreciated. It's about, say, you can write a simple intro with a good recent case story or case study of any IAS or IPS or any other civil servant also. But do not overdo it because it's only a 10 marker. Be aware of the fact it has only 150 words and 2 pages. Finish it off in 2 to 3 lines, maximum 4 lines, but definitely not more than that. Then, yes, write in your own words, need not write any textbook definitions. What's your idea of courage in 2-3 lines? Then you can talk about benefits that flow from being courageous. That flow from being courageous, or benefits that flow from being courageous, or necessity of being courageous. But I personally prefer benefits that flow from being courageous. You can say a courageous civil servant will be more level headed, means he'll be calm, composed, cool, and he'll have this equanimity. A courageous civil servant will have, that guts to say no, means he'll have this responsibility taking. A courageous civil servant will make himself self accountable. A courageous civil servant would dare to take adventures. A courageous civil servant would try to innovate, would try to experiment, isn't it? So, just like that, you can talk about various benefits. If your time permits, a quick example. Say, for instance, a civil servant who is courageous and in an area in which people are traditionally used to defecating in open, he tries to innovate and experiment with a new model for modifying people's behavior, something like that. You can also write a quick examples if your time really permits. Even if you write 2 3 examples, examiner will be more than happy. Then you can conclude by saying, as it is something specific to civil servants, following measures can be taken, or how a civil servant has to inculcate. It's not easy to inculcate courage, right? But yes, by certain training modules, or by reading some good books, or by reading lives of some, or some inspiring people, the civil servant can inculcate this idea of being courageous. That also you can quickly capture it, 2 3 lines, and suitably conclude your answer. But core thing is ensure that these jargon are seen generously, this ethical jargon, and write your answer in an interactive manner. Generally, in ethics, examiner would expect you to write your answer in an interactive manner. So write it in an interactive manner. You'll understand what I mean when I said interactive manner as our discussion matures. So that's how you can conclude your answer. You can conclude by writing another quote also, by writing other quote also. Now, after the session, I'll just post one question for you. For tomorrow's question, for tomorrow's session, try to write that answer, and I'll begin tomorrow's session with that particular question. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Correct, Rishadi. So I'll end my class for today. Tomorrow also you will have a session. Tomorrow session we'll just spend only first 30 minutes on how to structure answer properly. I won't take much time for it. First 30 minutes only I'll take for it. And these innovations and all these things we can discuss as our discussion matures. For time being, tomorrow I'll focus more on, first half an hour I'll focus on how to write a good structure, and rest of the session we will focus on trying to attempt questions. And tomorrow we'll also talk about the subject. Today we did not talk about the subject much. Today it's more about making you aware of the skills of answer writing. Tomorrow it will be a mix of both, making you aware of skills of answer writing along with some subject specific content related to each topic. I'll stop my class for today. Tomorrow also you will have a session, and I'll just post the question to you guys. Just see that question. I'll post it. And I think all of you are in both answer writing platform and in reflections also, right? So I'll post it in reflections itself. Just see the question once and delete it after a while. I'll stop my class for today. Yeah. Thank you. Good night.